Cotter and Architect, they would listen to me and Donna just bantering back and forth, and then they'd put it into the script the next day and be like, oh my gosh, it's in the script. So that's like the greatest process. That's the dream process.
And that also is the spirit of Jim Henson too, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. That sense of play.
This show is just wonderful. I love the music. The messages are so heartfelt and the characters are just so much fun. Really, really great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hallie, you've been with Jim Henson Company for a while, and I'm a really big Jim Henson fan. So I'm curious with Fraggle Rock, Back to the Rock specifically, what did you want to key into in kind of honoring and celebrating Jim Henson's legacy? And are there any other Jim Henson properties that you want to bring back in the future?
I love all those questions. I have been with the company collectively for 30 years. I grew up at the Jim Henson Company, but you know what? I grew up with Jim Henson, right? So I was a Sesame Street baby. So I grew up with Sesame, the Muppets, and Fraggle Rock, and Dark Crystal. So such a privilege and honor to be here and working with the company and reimagining and rebooting the shows that, sort of inspired me as a child. So I was so lucky to work on Dark Crystal and launch that as a TV series on Netflix. And then Fraggle Rock is like my joy of joys. It's my heart of hearts, because I feel like with Fraggle Rock, it's a show that's all about pure joy and being in the moment and celebration. And it's funny, but it also has something to say. It has some real heartfelt messages, and the DNA of the series is that Jim Henson wanted to bring about world peace. He's like, let's create a show that brings about world peace. And I'll tell you something, even before we thought about wanting to relaunch the series, I kind of always took that philosophy on any show that I've developed at the Jim Henson Company, which is, what do we want to say? In this show, what's the impact that it needs to have for kids when they walk away? Of course, we want it to be entertaining. Of course, it's going to be innovative, and it's going to include puppets. But, it's always that heart. So with Fraggle Rock, it just felt like the right time for it to come out. We were so lucky that Tara Sorensen and Jamie Ehrlich at Apple TV Plus were also massive fans and, reached out to us about the project. But we then had this opportunity like, oh my gosh, the world needs Fraggles right now. We need to talk about what would it take to create a peaceful world right now when the first season came out and today in 2024. And we're really proud of the heart of this series and really proud of the production value and everything. And I think Jim Henson would be very proud of us.
John, you guys have some great guest stars this season, including Ariana DeBose, Brett Goldstein, Catherine O'Hara. How does that kind of work for the filming? Do they record the audio beforehand, or are they working directly with the puppeteers?
Both. I mean, it's so important to know their voices and how they're going to put it into the character. And, they're not on set with us for a variety of reasons. And so usually what happens is right before we film their episode, we do a recording session with them where we ask them to read through the script so that whoever's puppeteering their puppet can get a feel for their timing and their tendencies and the little isms that they put in. And then on set, the puppeteer kind of has those lines recorded at their disposal to listen to as reference. But we really encourage the puppeteers to also be in the moment, react and improv something if it comes up, and be able to kind of go with what the director wants them to do. And then afterwards, the celebrity, the guest star, comes back and records and replaces what the puppeteer put in. So it's this really beautifully collaborative way of doing it that's different than if you're recording a voice for animation where the animator follows and that's it. We kind of give this beautiful back and forth. And what's great is Catherine O'Hara, Adam Lambert, Daveed Diggs, Brett Goldstein, they're all such fans of puppetry and they have such respect for the art of puppetry that they wanted to be part of it in any way that they could. So I had to take the puppet off of Brett Goldstein when we introduced him to his puppet finally after he did it. He was like, this puppet is everything to me. So it's just this wonderful kind of give and take collaborative process where the celebrity gets to be part of the puppetry and the puppeteer gets to be part of the celebrity's work.
And they got to be part of the design.
That's right.
We invited them. They didn't have to, but if they wanted to be a part of it and contribute, Daveed Diggs had a lot to say about his puppet in a wonderful way. So
yeah. And it's funny, Adam Lambert was he was so excited about the hair for the glitterini and the costumes and stuff like that. And Brett Goldstein picked out the vest and the colors and, they get to put their imprint on it. It's nice.
Matt, what did you guys learn from the first season that you took into the second season that maybe adjusted how you approach different storylines?
We got to know the puppeteers and just this whole talented cast of puppeteers better and kind of figured out where we could really just add in throwaway characters and bits and where we could build new things. There's all these great, there's like just a million little things. Louie Rudy, the whistle bug, Little Rago, Architect and Cotterpin, growing these characters, making them sillier and sort of like knowing where their base is, but then being able to turn that a little bit and have them be really funny. It was really exciting Johnny brought up Lanford from the original series and introducing Lanford into this season. Ingrid Hansen played Lanford, and it's just such a funny, I really love that dynamic between Moki and Lanford, and there's just so much I love about this season.
And we're also so lucky as performers too, because we have writers who trust us and encourage us to keep finding things. And so often on the set, much like a sitcom, if you go see a sitcom taped, they'll do a take of it. The writers will come in and say, what if you did this? What if you did that? And they'll do a kind of a new scene, a new version. And we would do that on the set all the time. And we loved that because that's how we found more funny character moments and more funny bits. Cotterpin and Architect, they would listen to me and Donna just bantering back and forth, and then they'd put it into the script the next day and be like, oh my gosh, it's in the script. So that's like the greatest process. That's the dream process.
And that also is the spirit of Jim Henson too, isn't
yes,
it?
absolutely. That sense of play.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to me. The show is so great. I love all Jim Henson stuff. I grew up with the Muppets. I love Farscape. I hope we get more and more of everything.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for being so
so much.
supportive.